Hello, Fred Scribers. Welcome back to game number 3 of the 1988 World Series Rewriting History, where the Mets and the A's play in the 1988 World Series. As you may remember, it was the A's and the Dodgers in the real World Series back in 1988, but we are doing a what-if scenario. So far, the game is at 2-0. The Mets are leading 2-0 so far in this series. We now go to A's Stadium. I forget the name of their stadium, but we're going to go there now and play game number 3. Thank you so much, for subscribers. For those of you who are not baseball fans and are watching this video, I really appreciate your support. Thank you so much, and let's get into this video. We've got David Cone pitching. And David Cone is going to be pitching against Storm Davis. And the first pitch of the game will be Lenny Dykstra. It's Coliseum Stadium. That's where we're playing this game. And Lenny Dykstra gets off to a quick start with a home run. Here's Wally Backman. Wally Backman gets on second base on a fielding error by Dave Henderson. Here's Kevin McReynolds. If you hear my throat, it's still a little iffy. Here's Strawberry. He's hitless in this series. He grounds out, but he gets an RBI. Here's Howard Johnson. Howard Johnson walks, and Gary Carter. Gary Carter grounds out to third base. That retires his side, but the Mets get 2. And now Coney takes over. He's going to be pitching to Luis Polonia. Luis Polonia starts off with a single. Carney Lansford. Polonia steals second. That was a ground ball. I didn't know if that was going to be an infield single. Dave Henderson. Now that's an infield single, and the A's get a run. 2-1. Here's Jose Canseco. He's 2 for 7 in the series. 2 men away. Mark McGwire. McGwire walks, and Ron Hesse. He gets a base hit. Henderson scores. The score is tied 2-2. Coney not having a good game so far, even though it's only the first inning. That retires the side. Next up is Dave Magadan. He gets on base. Kevin Elster, hit and run Harry, is at it again. He gets Magadan over to second base. And David Cone, hopefully he'll hit it to the right side. Hit to the right side, at least just to advance the runner to third. Nope, not a chance. 30% success. Nope. All right, Lenny Dykstra. Is that an infield hit by Dykstra? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Here's Wally Backman. Wally Backman grounds out. Walt Weiss coming in, bottom of the second. 1 man away. Storm Davis looks like he pops out. And Luis Polonia. He strikes out. That retires the side. That was a good inning by Coney. All right, Kevin McReynolds. Take a look at Storm Davis's player card. So the scouting is at a ±9, which means he could be 9 points better or 9 points worse than this 81-81. The more you pay your scouts, the higher the ratings are. More, close to what he actually is. All right, here's McReynolds. K-Mac singles through the middle. Darryl Strawberry. We got the big boppers coming up. And that's a 2-run homer by Darryl Strawberry. The Mets take the lead 4-2. Here's Howard Johnson. Howard Johnson strikes out, and Gary Carter. Gary Carter gets a base hit. He's on first. McGwire is 3 for 3 for this series, and I still want to get Keith Hernandez in there. He pops out 1 out. No, 2 outs. Sorry about that. Kevin Elster. Carney Lansford. He gets a base hit. Dave Henderson. Another stolen base, this time by Lansford. Henderson walks. And Canseco gets a base hit. This is going to be a back and forth game, I believe. Here's McGwire. There's no outs. He's going to score both of them. This is a good team. I didn't think the Mets were going to sweep here. I don't even know if the Mets are going to win this series yet. That's a double play. Here's Glenn Hubbard. Right, David Cone pitching in the top of the 4th. He strikes out. Lenny Dykstra walks, and Wally Backman. Wally Backman strikes out. Kevin McReynolds walks. And that is an out. So after 3.5, the A's are leading it 5-4. Walt Weiss, he walks. A bunt attempt by Davis, and it's successful. Weiss is on second with 1 man out. 2 men out. Carney Lansford strikes out, and that retires the side. So after 4, 5-4 A's. Here's Hojo. Ground ball out. Gary Carter. He is out. And Dave McGwire. That retires the side. Going to the bottom of the 5th, we're going to get Keith Hernandez in there. Here's Dave Henderson. That's going to be a base hit up the middle. Jose Canseco. He walks. Mark McGwire strikes out. Ron Hassey. Double play. Come on, double play. 2 outs. And that retires the side. Okay, good. Not too bad. We held them for innings 4 and 5, but we haven't done anything. Okay, Kevin Elster. He strikes out. Let's get Tim Tuffle, who I don't believe he's had an appearance. Nope, he's not had an appearance yet. Let's get him in there. What did I do? Right, hold on. Tim Tuffle. Tim Tuffle strikes out, and here's Lenny Dykstra. Lenny Dykstra flies out. All right, we are going to go with Rick Aguilera. We have to save our closer, who's a lefty. That's a line out. No, that's a double. He doubled off the wall. Don Baylor. He gets a base hit. And the A's lead 6-4. Luis Polonia. He flies out. Carney Lansford. He flies out to left. And Dave Henderson. Rick Aguilera looks shocked. Like, huh? All right. Gene Nelson pitching to Wally Backman. Wally Backman walks. All right, hit and run Harry is at it again. That's a base hit up the middle. Darryl Strawberry hoping for a big bopper. He doubles off the wall, but only 1 run scores. Here's Howard Johnson. Hojo walks, and Gary Carter coming up with the bases loaded and nobody out. Can the Mets do something here and retake the lead? There's a base hit. Yes, 2 runs will score. The Mets take the lead 7-6. Here's Keith Hernandez. He gets an RBI. Here's Kevin Elster. Carter's hitting 300. Let me see what this guy's speed is. 74. He's got a 78 rating behind the plate. What's Carter's speed? 56. Now we got to keep Carter in there. All right, let's give Kevin Elster another hit and run attempt with Hit and Run Harry, the bench coach. He lines out. Let's see who we can get here to bat or to hit. Jeff McKnight. He's a switch hitter. All right, here we go. Jeff McKnight with 2 men away. My hope was that he'd get on base and continue a rally. All right, that retires the side. The Mets take the lead 8-6. We're going to the bottom of the 7th. We got a lot of righties coming up. And let's put in Jeff Innes. Pitching to Stan Javier. The tension mounts. 1 man away. Mark McGwire pops it up. 2 men away. And Ron Hasse. He gets a 1-2-3 inning. So, at the end of 7 full innings, the Mets 8, the A's 8. 6, I'm sorry. The Mets 8 and the A's 6. I'm still feeling a little under the weather here. All right, Lenny Dykstra trying to get a few insurance runs here. 1 out, Wally Backman. Wally Backman gets a base hit. Kevin McReynolds, we're not doing the hit and run thing. That's a base hit. Runners on first and second. Wait, what happened there? He doubled down the 3rd base line, scoring a run. All right, very good. 9-6. Darryl Strawberry. Darryl walks. Darryl. Howard Johnson's going to pop up to the pitcher. Or to the catcher. Gary Carter. Okay, I left you in, Gary. Let's see what you can do, bud. You walk. That's not too bad. All right, Mex. Keith Hernandez. Keith strikes out. Bottom of the 8th. Innes coming in for his 2nd inning of work. He had a 1-2-3 inning in the last inning. And good inning by Jeff Innes. Here's Dennis Eckersley. Pitching to Kevin Elster. Kevin Elster walks. I'm going to bring in Mookie to pinch hit. Should I do a hit and run? I want to stay out of double play. Mookie has good speed, so let's see what he can do. All right, he popped out. Man, if he would have gotten a successful hit and run, Elster would have been on second. All right, Lenny Dykstra. Oh, he's on second anyway. Runners on first and second. We're going to hit and run with Wally Backman. He's got 80 contact. Got some good speed there in first base. Runners on second and third with 2 men away. And that retires the side. All right, guys. Fasten your seatbelts. The Mets are winning by 3 runs. Can we pull this game out? Polonia walks. Pop up. Please don't drop it. 1 man away. Henderson strikes out. We're 1 out away. pop up. And the New York Mets win Game 3. I am surprised that we have won 3 games so far. There's no way we're going to be able to sweep these Athletics. These guys are too good. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining me in this game and watching it. I really appreciate the subscribers, the views that you guys continue to loyally do. And remember the 4 YouTube commandments: like, share, subscribe, and comment. And the 5th Angela Star commandment: be kind and be courteous. And we'll see you on the next video.